is.
Sorry. Hello everyone. I have developed a nervous twitch, so I apologise if that puts you off. You might see it in what I'm about to say, because I've got two things to say. Alright, first of all, I spoke to Tom Green because Tom Green is starting up his own network this year, rumour has it, and I contacted him about whether or not he'd like to speak about me giving him permission to stream Laugh or Cry TV, and he said to stay in touch. So early days at this point, but that might be the future of Laugh or Cry TV. And the reason I'm telling you is because this show is, and always has been, a scrapbook of my life. And originally it started as just like, you know, a random mixture of sketches and silly stunts and silly random street bits. I can't actually remember when the last show was that involved that, because what it's evolved into quite nicely is actually basically the first ever public document of someone's entire detailed journey through show business. Because if I get like a headline, a controversial headline, we all know that can help comedians, but like people never see their family's reaction to that. So when I'm in a magazine or on the telly or something, I film my family and friends' reactions, I film whether or not I'm feeling nervous, my honest opinions. I don't sugarcoat anything, and I don't try and make out to be something I'm not. It's a completely honest look at a journey through show business. And I think that last week's show, show 60, you saw my life in a day journey. You saw my 6-month effort to get into the film, and I didn't get into the film, and so it kind of just shows the sheer effort involved with what can sometimes turn out to be just one little bit of fame, and that's if that's achieved. And it's a good job I just do it because I like creating things, because if I was just doing it for fame, it would not be worth it at all. So this is just to let you know that there is going to be this aspect of the show continued, but there is also still plenty of silly things in the archive coming up. It's just that a lot has happened. It's been the busiest year ever last year. That's why it's been like a public diary and scrapbook. So, no, I was just saying it's so sweet that you were singing.
Why?
Because you were singing to yourself, and I'm really stressed about the radio tonight, but it was just so sweet that you were singing. But obviously that was funny that you were shocked. Do they have the term surname in America? Does that mean second name?
Betty mentioned this, but
Because
I don't see how they can get 7 letters more.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because even if they don't have the term surname and they don't get the joke, whenever I'm interviewed in America, they always spell it wrong. But why can't they physically take the letters that I've given them and reproduce it?
How do they spell it?
Sure name, surname, sermon. So they obviously don't get the term surname, but they definitely don't get the joke. The radio is down. The radio station. The website itself is down. It's never down. It's not his fault, it's the website above him. And now I'm putting how I'm my presentation. How I'm presented has been put in the hands of other people, and I hate it. They have to record it through the website, so if that's down, then I'll be doing it and it won't end up being even recorded. So it's just all. If it's down, there's about half an hour to go, isn't there? There's 15 minutes until showtime, and the site is down. So it's not Zack Butler's fault. I'm saying the website above him is down, and maybe that's no one's fault. Maybe it's just life, and I have no idea if I'm even going to be on the show. I've got a really tense neck because I've had a really tense neck. I've been in bed all day.
I did?
Yeah.
What's wrong?
Stressed about tonight. What?
Usually you're stressed or something, aren't you?
Yeah, I think that the post-radio Tennessee chicken is going to be nice. Scruffy's coming with me. I'm going to get to sleep now.
Okay.
It's 9 in the morning now. I've been to bed all night, been up all night stressed.
Oh, sweetheart.
It always goes alright. I don't know why I'm so stressed.
It always goes fine. You sleep, yeah?
Yeah. Okay. Right, I'm here with Scruffy the Lion, I'm here with a bloody orchid, and the thing is... Oops. I do believe that the website is back up. So it'll be alright, it's just the unnecessary stress. And I'm looking forward to it actually, so I'm going to go on the radio very shortly. Yeah, so it's...
Hello and welcome to the Zach Buckler Show. Today's guest is video creator Ed Surname. He is responsible for the crazy video show Laugh or Cry TV. Now, what is Laugh or Cry TV? Well, according to his YouTube page, it's a web series. Every Thursday on YouTube and Laugh or Cry TV, which follows the exploits of Ed Surname, who was stopped by his own parents to have something legitimately wrong with him. As he gets arrested, suspended, fired, hospitalized, and nearly killed, it's all filmed for Laugh or Cry TV. He is essentially going to therapy in front of the world. In other words, it's not a copy of any other show, ever. It includes madness such as a 30-foot bridge jump and visiting a depressed gun maniac at 3 a.m. dressed as a Mexican. Everything you love about stunts, bizarre skits, spoof interviews, troublemaking, and sheer madness, but with no scripted reaction. Here's a quote from Ed. When my dad found out I was stapling jelly to the walls, he did not ask why on earth for, or what I was thinking. He simply asked, which wall? Ed, welcome to the show.
How's it going?
Going great. Now, when did you first start making videos?
Well, I actually first started making videos when I first got my video camera when I was 17, right? Now, I'd always wanted to make videos, but I was banned from having a video camera by my parents. And I think that they knew it was because I would cause trouble with it. But it's a real shame I didn't get a camera until I was 17, because there was loads of mad stuff that happens with our family, and there's loads of things, you know, that I didn't film when I was a kid. But I've made up for it now, that's for sure, because I got a camera, and I'm now in the possession of 400 hours of crazy stuff, and it's been written about it was written about in the national newspaper that we have over here just the other week, and it's been on American TV. There's a segment every week on New York, and it's going very well. I'm having a great time, and I started when I was 17, so it seems like it's been a long journey to get to this point, but it has been very fun as well.
Awesome, awesome. So you're 24 now, is that correct?
Well, I'm actually 26.
26, my bad.
26 going on 5, as my mum would say.
Awesome.
Yeah. Albeit a 5-year-old that can edit videos quite creatively.
Very good. What inspires you to make these videos? Why make them? Why make these crazy videos?
It's always kind of fascinated me how people, because I'm kind of messing around in the videos, and there's a lot of stuff that's all crazy, and it's actually quite irritating to people if I'm, say, causing a scene on the street, right? However, it's always fascinated me how people can be professional about being unprofessional. It's like I kind of put a lot of work into, I sort of stay up every night editing and things like that, and I try to do it in a quite a constructive way, and it's just weird to me how there's different people on the planet that like different things. Like, for instance, I caused a scene in a shop that hated the scene I was causing, and then a few years later they were stocking the magazine that wrote about it, and like the shop owners were completely oblivious to that. It's just really weird. So that when there's weird circumstances like that, that inspires me to do it. And also, I think people's reactions are the funniest. It's like I enjoy sitcoms and I enjoy comedy shows and things like that, but I personally think that you can't script the best comedy. The best comedy is when somebody is reacting honestly in the moment. To say if they're like really confused or something, like we did this bit where I slept in a bed shop, and the confusion of the people is you couldn't write it, you couldn't make it up, as they say. And there's been loads of things where I've made up the concepts of what to go out and do, but the reactions are just something else. Like I nearly got punched in the face by a gun maniac.
Wow. Now, are there any stunts or performances you regret doing, or are you happy about everything you've done?
Well, I've done a lot of stunts where, I've jumped off a 30-foot bridge, and I smashed a beer bottle over my head, and I've also staple gunned my head, and it's all been taped for the show. It's either on there already on demand on laughorecrytv.com, or it's coming up. And if it's gone down on video, even if it was painful at the time, I don't really regret it, because I sort of have it forever and I get use out of it, and It's fun to do, I suppose. But it's like I regret certain things where my family's feelings have been hurt, I suppose, because way back when things like that used to happen. But then again, they laugh about them now. So I can't think of anything off the top of my head that I regret now. I like to think it's because I'm sort of careful when I do it in the first place. I pick my moments.
Yeah. What is your favorite video you have made?
Well, there's a few. I sort of have a favourite from each different category, because there's a lot of different categories on the show. Like there's stunts, and then there's family-based things, and there's trouble on the street, which is quite harmless, and then there's kind of serious stuff, illegal things. But I think my favourite of all time, which doesn't seem to be everyone else's favourite actually, but it's my favourite, is when me and my friend Adam Moffat, we went to our neighbour's house at 3 a.m. We dressed up as Mexicans, and he was waiting for someone else to come around and beat him up that night, just by coincidence. It was just by chance. And it's actually in show 40, it's in Laugh or Cry TV 40, and so he was waiting armed with weapons, and because we were dressed as Mexicans, he didn't recognise that it was me from down the road, and so he just came out of his door and started attacking us. That's when I was punched in the face. And if I were to do, there's other instances from the show that I really like, where, say, like if there's an interaction with public and things like that, like say, for instance, I did Tourette's in the library. I went in there and was sort of swearing, saying the F word and the C word and stuff, and the reactions were funny, but I could essentially go and do that again tomorrow. Whereas, when we visited the gun maniac, that could never be repeated because the circumstances were so just of the moment, so it can't be beaten. There's loads of things I've done in the past that I could do again. They're sort of repeatable. They're still crazy, but that is the one that stands out as far as being my favourite, because it just couldn't be replicated at all. There's no way that the circumstances would come together like that again.
Right. Now, do you make videos full-time?
I do actually, yeah. I've actually just started, I signed back at the end of last year a contract with a mobile phone company, and they said early 2011, so I think it's coming very soon, they're going to be licensing out my videos for pay per download, and I'm very excited about that because there's loads of stuff I've done that gets banned from the internet, believe it or not. And I sort of try to keep in, I post to YouTube and some other websites, and I try to be crazy within their demands, but it's kind of it limits you, right? But with this mobile phone company, I have no limits. Now, I might put that claim to the test, because I sent them some stuff that's outrageous. But that is, at the moment, funding itself. So, yes, I do edit full-time, and I taught myself how to edit. I was quite pleased, actually, because I always wondered whether or not my editing was all right. Like, I sort of second-guess my work sometimes. I'm never really happy with anything I do. But when I met a TV producer, because I met a TV producer early last year to discuss the development of a show, he thought I was professionally trained in editing. I actually taught myself when I was 17.
Wow, very good. Now, what is the mobile phone company that you have a deal with? What is the company name again?
Oh, I'm not allowed to legally say it, and I'm sorry about that, but I'm going to be advertising it all over my website. And it's going to be pay per download, and so there's going to be a mix of, there's going to be plenty of stuff on there that hasn't been seen yet and that I'm not going to release for free. Things if I've been arrested or if I've nearly been killed or something like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, your videos have received a great deal of media attention. You've been given coverage by The Sun, newspaper, The Telegraph newspaper, BBC Radio, Bazaar magazine, the list goes on. Can you talk about how these companies found you?
Yeah, well, back when I first started, because even though I've been doing it since I was 17, I've only really started to try and push it towards the media for a lot less time than that, maybe a few years, right? And back originally, I was contacting people, but then when you're in one thing, someone else will notice and then contact you and things like that. So when I was in Bazaar magazine, lots of people contacted me because they saw me in the mobile phone company, actually. So it's like the hardest thing in show business that I've noticed is getting going, right? And then when you get going, it kind of snowballs. And I'm kind of having a lot of fun right now with it. And a lot of things come my way without trying. And I still pursue things as well. So it's actually it's a mix of both me contacting them and then them contacting me. It's nice to be contacted, though.
Very good, very good. Now, your videos are on television. Are they on television in America? Is that true?
Yeah, there was one on, there's a cable channel in America called True TV, and they screened another one of my favorites, The Lecture Fight. And there's another show in New York. It's on cable TV in New York, 1:30 a.m. in Manhattan, 11 p.m. Capital Region. And they show a segment of mine each week on the show, and I'm pleased about that also.
Very good. What sort of camera equipment do you use to film your work?
Well, since the invention of HD, I do use HD. I use Sony. I like Sony stuff. But the thing is, because of the nature of the show, a lot of it is documenting my life, and there's a lot of things from the past that are relevant, but they were filmed on very old cameras because there was nothing better at the time. Actually, it's kind of weird to think of this now because everyone has a camera on their phone, and if they don't, then they also have other cameras, like portable ones, because they're very cheap. But back when I was 17, even though it was 2002, it's crazy to think it, not everybody had video cameras. So it was kind of, that's actually something that's been lost over time, because when I sort of burst into, you know, my nan's room filming her on the toilet or something like that, she was shocked I even had a camera. So that was something that's been lost over time, I think. So sometimes on the show there'll be things that is older footage, but I'm not trying to compete with, you know, Star Wars and their special effects and things like that. I'm just sort of doing, the nature of the show is home videos, and some of my favourite shows on TV are things like, you know, America's Funniest Home Videos, and over here the equivalent is You've Been Framed, and I don't really care what the quality is, it's like what's happening on the screen.
Sorry?
It's what's happening on the screen that I like, and so even though we're filming in HD right now, a lot of the show has been filmed on sort of older equipment, but it's still good. I like the content of what's actually happening, like the craziness of the ideas themselves.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, how do you edit your work? Do you have like editing software that you like a lot, a particular program you like to use?
Yeah, well, everyone says Final Cut Pro, but I find Pinnacle Studio to be easier, actually. Maybe because I've always used it, but I think it's good. I use Pinnacle Studio.
Okay, very good. Aside from video production, you're also an avid wrestling fan. You have a wrestling merchandise collection that has been valued at between $15,000 and $20,000. Can you talk to us about this collection of yours?
Yeah, well, like a lot of things with me, it kind of got out of hand. I'm kind of fanatical about things, and if I'm going to do something, it goes too far. Like I can't moderate at all. Extremities. So it's like I had a few bits of wrestling merchandise when I was a kid, and I put them around my room, and I said to my parents, I'm going to make my whole room into a wrestling collection, so you can go in there and you won't be able to see the walls, you won't be able to see the ceiling, and not just because of posters, but because of really like loads of little different types of bits of merchandise. And they said, oh, yeah, that's nice and that, Edward, but you know, you only got a few bits at the moment, and that's not going to happen. And you know, $20,000 later, it's got way out of hand. And that was from when I don't live with my parents anymore, but the room is still basically intact because no one has the heart to move it. I got loads of it just got out of hand. Things get out of hand, and I can't sort of moderate anything.
That's so cool. You also wrestled in America. Can you talk about when you wrestled in America? What time period?
Yeah, it was just a couple of years ago, because what happened was, over here, first of all, is where I started wrestling. Are you familiar with Jake the Snake Roberts?
Yes, Sure.
Well, Jake the Snake Roberts trained me, and we got to be friends, because what happened was this. I put an advert in a magazine saying that I'd like a wrestling trainer, and I got loads of prank calls at 4 a.m, people saying that they're, you know, this wrestler and that wrestler, and after a while of these prank calls, I started just putting the phone down on people, and one day, I got a phone call from someone who said that they're Jake the Snake Roberts, and so I just slammed the phone down, right? Although I did think that he was doing a good impression of him, right? And he was actually quite persistent as well. Well, I come to realize it is actually Jake the Snake Roberts, and so one thing leads to another, and I trained with him, and he's been so, like, I won't hear a bad word said about him, because he's been so kind to me and my wife. We lived with him in America a couple of years ago. I wrestled in Daytona Beach and South Carolina, and we want to go back there, but we have lots of other things going on, and we haven't gone back as quickly as we'd liked, but it's still in our future plans.
Very good. When you returned to UK from wrestling, you were homeless for a while. Can you please talk about the experience?
Yeah, it was bloody awful. What happened was the experience to go to America was too good to turn down, but it meant that we didn't have enough money to keep our apartment on. You know, we couldn't pay for the apartment here when no one was here, so we took our cats and we gave them to my wife's mum, who kindly looked after them, but we didn't have a base to come back. Well, after 3 months, the visa runs out, you see, And so we came back and we were homeless, and so we had to sort of stay with my parents, and it was absolutely bloody awful. And the pressure was on because we had cats as well. It would have sort of been somehow less stressful if it was just us. But we had cats to care for, and so after about a week of really intensely trying to find a place, we finally found one. But I wouldn't like to repeat that again. I think if I went back to America, we would have an apartment sorted out, ready for when we came back, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, now I'd like to conclude with a really serious question for you. Now, would you rather swim in a pool of mayonnaise for 1 hour in regular clothing, or would you rather eat a dozen cow eyeballs while standing on your head?
The first one with the mayonnaise.
The mayonnaise. Now, why is that?
Yeah. Why? Because I'd like to try and see someone actually accumulate that much mayonnaise. Because I think it's just hypothetical, Zach.
Great answer. Well,
Yeah?
Is there anything else you'd like to say or do while on the show?
Yes, there is actually. First of all, my wife is listening at home. I'm in my studio right now, and she's listening at home, and I've just realised that if I use the phone to call her, it's going to cost me money, so I may as well tell her now, if you could please order the takeaway I suggested that we have tonight. So if she's listening, please could you order the takeaway now? And the other thing is, I'd like to tell people listening where they can watch my show again. It's laugh-or-cry-tv.com. When I say Laugh or Cry TV, people seem to remember the Laugh or Cry bit. You have to put laugh-or-cry-tv.com, and there's a new show every Thursday. There's loads of different things to it, stunts, family-based stuff. My mum's always been attacked by spiders, for instance. I write a blog at least every other day, so the blog is very regular. And there's updates about my live show in London, which is coming up. There's going to be a live stage show coming this spring. And the other thing I'd like to do is, after thanking you for having me on, I would like to sing a song that I've prepared for my rabid fan base, and then put the phone down. Would this be okay with you, Zach?
That would be amazing. Please.
Okay, so thank you for having me on.
You're welcome.
Fogger in the cotton, he did right. Crambo. Fogger in the cotton, he did right. Crambo. Fogger in the cotton, he did right. Revolver by his side. Couple of beans. Crambo. Hi, G.O.J. Hee! The eucalyptus tree. Crambo.
Ed's surname, everyone. Thanks for listening to the Zach Buckler Show. Peace out.
Hi. Did you listen? What? Hang on a minute, we gotta... Yeah, because it was that bit I wanted to do, thank you team. I just, Scruffy in the background said extremities, and they said, it's hypothetical, Zach. And it's just turned into me and Scruffy making you laugh through other people's mediums. It's kind of hard to steer it away from topics where I don't want it to go. Like the mobile phone company. That was like, I don't want to advertise them because they're bloody idiots until they show my stuff, you know? I don't know if I can legally show them actually. Does it look like I'm lying? Oh, I don't care, I'm not anyway. Alright. Mum and Dad, are you awake? Can I come in? I need to film your reactions to the show.
It was only 2 seconds.
What?
It was only 2 seconds of it.
You missed a bit of my interview.
No, I'll tell you the reason.
Here it is.
Because it
Oh, so manners for the people. Why aren't you sitting on a chair?
I missed a bit of it because... Right, I missed a bit of it.
You get to the point.
It didn't go on. I had to go to Edward... It didn't go on from the link you said. I had to go to the specific Edward the Harris bit.
Edward the Harris. Who's Harris?
Surname.
Sure name, according to some people.
Can you not use that?
No, I need to use it. Tina, please can I use it?
Why? Where are you going?
Yeah. Now, I'm using it, aren't I?
Yeah.
Tina,
What?
please don't say it. Just agree.
Edward, just do it!
Agree that I can use
Just
any
do it!
He said Ed Shaw name.
Laugh or Cry TV, which follows the exploits of Ed's surname.
For the benefit of people in America or perhaps outside of the UK, surname, as I spell it, it's a joke. It's supposed to be descriptive, like Edward Williams could be an ice skater or a gardener or an accountant. Ed's surname over here is obviously someone who thinks messing around is funny, because surname is a term for second name. I thought that was the case worldwide.
I told you
with the English language. You told me. When did you tell me?
I told you. When you said to me.
So surname means second name, because I always thought it would be funny to be called Christian surname, because the term for the first name is Christian name. Christian name, surname. I wanted to clarify some things from the interview.
Go on.
First of all, when I said, living with my parents when I was homeless and it was bloody awful, I didn't mean living with my parents, I meant being homeless was awful.
Yeah, I know.
Second of all, when I said about it fascinates me that people are professionally unprofessional, they're professional about being unprofessional, I was thinking of things like Banksy, Jackass, Borat, where it's like they're essentially messing around in public but they're doing it in a professional, constructive way. That's what fascinates me, because people who just judge it quickly would be like, oh, they're just idiots, but it's not the case. I'm looking forward to this Tennessee chicken that I'm going to order. I'm going to have a Tennessee chicken. Okay? This is editing tricks. I'm going to put the photo in now.
Edward, I think we should start it again because I was wobbling the camera anyway.
You absolute... See, the weird thing about getting into show business that I've realised is that I'm really annoyed, but you feel like you can't express your annoyance because it's not considered professional. But that's weird. It's like when I'm in America and when they write things about me or interview me, they never call me Ed's surname. Yet I can't say I'm annoyed about this or that publicly, or you don't feel like you can, because people in show business are all about networking and saying, oh, I might need them at some point down the line. So it's all false. I've also noticed it's not about the best piece of art getting the most publicity or selling the most. You can have a really good piece of art, but sometimes the power players aren't creative, and if they don't like it, you need to compromise. But then if you were to compromise, you're not making the piece of art you got into it to make. Fame helps with momentum, which can help with money, and then can help you to be in a position where you get paid to be creative, and therefore you can spend 24 hours a day being creative, practically speaking. But I'm mainly in it just because I like doing it and I want to do it for a living, for that reason. So I'm doing an interview for Camden Radio soon, so go to laugholcrytv.com for updates. Also, now at laugholcrytv.com, the exclusive headline about me quitting New York TV. And the other news is that I've been going back and forth with MTV for months now, and it looks like I'll be having a meeting with them. There are lots of blogs, regular blogs, and updates on laugholcrytv.com, and the blog is made by consistently rearranging 26 letters.